Before we move on to the next module, there are a few things that we can refactor in this application. And we're in a green state, all the tests are running, and our use cases are working as expected. The first thing we can do is right here. Previously, we had the app component pass the function to set the search term to the search bar component because we managed the state locally in the app component itself. But now that we manage the state externally in the store, there is no need for the app component to pass this action. We can directly call this action from the search bar component. So I'm going to remove this part and go to the search bar component. And in here, instead of doing do search, I can access the store directly through the store provider and invoke store.setSearchTerm directly here. All I need to do is import the store provider here and make this search bar component a connected component by calling the store provider just like that. However, in this particular case, we don't need extra props in here, and the store provider function requires an extra props. So I have the option of passing an empty function here, or alternatively, we can just make the extra props here an optional function, and we can do that with a default argument in JavaScript. So extra props is an optional function that returns an empty object. So it'll merge an empty object with the props of the component. So now this search bar component does not specify an extra props, and that's okay. While the other components specify extra props, and that would be considered. So we should definitely go ahead and test that. Search again, and things are still working. I've noticed while testing that our search is not case sensitive. And also we're getting this force update can only update a mounted or mounting component. So let's fix these problems. To make the search case insensitive, we can go to the app component in here and do something like make the search term a regular expression. So let's do search regular expression equal new regular expression for search term, and make it case insensitive just like that. And in here, instead of matching on search term, we'll match on search regular expression instead. So we can go ahead and test that. Now the search should be case insensitive. So now let's think about why this is happening. Why force update is saying can only update a mounted component. This means that in our store provider here, when we do force update, we are force updating a component that was completely unmounted. And this is happening because of the order things are wired in our React application. So the order of the component mounting, unmounting, and also the order of subscribing and unsubscribing, and the order of the store notifying the subscribers. So there's a lot of optimization that can be done to prevent this particular problem. In fact, libraries like React Redux exist to fix these kind of situations. However, if you want to implement the very simple solution, that would simply be to treat this .subscription ID as a flag. So when you unmount, we reset this flag to null. So this means that I don't have a subscription anymore. And in the store change here, we can just check for this flag. So if there is a subscription ID, we'll go ahead and force update, but otherwise we won't. Just like that. So this is a guard against updating the component that was unmounted, and this should actually work. I've just noticed that we have a typo here, so we can do a project find and replace to fix the typo, and we do find all, and all of these look like they should be replaced, so replace all. Okay, so now we can go ahead and test that the force update is not firing. So basically you want to search, delete the search, search again, delete the search, and make sure no force update is firing for a component that was unmounted already. This is one of the many reasons why using a pre-optimized library connector, like for example React Redux, is such a good idea if you don't want to deal with all these cases. And in most cases, you don't realize that you need these solutions. So in most cases, these libraries actually protect you from problems that you don't know you have. However, they also hide a learning opportunity. And this is why in this course, we're not using these libraries and trying to face these problems and learn from them. And there are, by the way, many other problems that we have with the code right now. that we will hopefully uncover in the next module when we talk about performance optimization and see how to fix them. Okay, let's take a look and see if there are other optimizations we can do. So I actually realized that we're still passing the store to the article list component. We actually don't need that anymore because we can read the store directly from the context with a store provider function. So the article list component actually does not use the store at all. So that was an extra prop that's unneeded. Now, sometimes it's not easy to manually spot these problems. However, in the next module, we'll take a look at some techniques that will help us identify these problems as well. So I think this is good enough refactoring for now. There's a lot more that we can do. But in the interest of time, I'd like to move on to a different topic. And in the next module, we'll actually see some signals of things that should definitely be refactored. But instead of manually verifying any refactoring that we're doing right now, we will have actual numbers and actual measurements that will tell us if the refactoring was actually better than what we had before. So we'll do that in the next module.